back. She'll give you the $1,000 back.
I asked her if she would take the car back. She said no.
Judge Judy, she's not telling you the whole truth.
This is Judge Judy. Carol Althoff is suing Tracy Johnson for the unpaid balance on a car she sold her.
Judge, this is case number 16 on the calendar in the matter of Althoff versus Johnson. Parties have been sworn in. Sir, you may be seated.
Miss Althoff, you sold a car to the defendant. What kind of car was it that you sold?
It's a 2008 Volkswagen Jetta.
It didn't belong to you. It belonged to one of your kids.
Yes, it was my daughter's car. I was just the co-owner on the title.
How did you find the car?
I found the car through something called Facebook Marketplace.
Okay. And it was a 12-year-old car. You negotiated a price, correct, with the plaintiff, and the price was $3,000. Is that right?
Yes.
So, Miss Johnson, this is your problem. You bought a 12-year-old car for an agreed price of $3,000. Then you tell this perfect stranger, I only have $1,000 to give you down. Can I make payments on the other $2,000? She agreed. So far, am I correct?
Yes.
You took the car. You still have the car.
Yes.
And you didn't pay her the balance of $2,000.
No, ma'am, I did not. There's a reason why I did not.
On it, and you couldn't get it smogged. Is that right?
That is correct.
So give her the car back. She'll give you the $1,000 back.
I tried to give her the car back.
Else.
I tried to give Lauren, the person who I was dealing with, her daughter, the car back. The second day that I had it, I asked her if she would take the car back. She said no. Her father came to my door, and I asked him if he would take the car back, and he said
Just
no.
a second. All right, listen to me. They may have said no. Now we're in court. Okay. And now I'm telling you, you can't keep the car. You have to give it back to her. They'll give you back your $1,000. They'll sell it to somebody else.
Judge Judy, she's not telling you the whole truth.
Listen, I'm here to make things quick and easy. She can't have the car and not pay for it. She doesn't want the car, clearly. Is that right?
I can't use the car.
You clearly don't want the car. She can't use the car. According to her, she's put in some money into the car. Brakes and, well, that's her problem. I don't care about that. Then she was silly enough to do that before she had the whole thing tested and everything else. That's her problem. So you're getting back your car with new brakes. And what else did you do to the car?
I'd had the two back tires changed.
And you have 2 new tires.
I know my daughter doesn't want the car back.
I don't care. She couldn't get the car smogged. That's what she says.
Well, the story with the smogging...
And you live in the state of California.
Yes, we do.
You can't sell a car in the state of California that can't be fair.
And well,
it doesn't matter to me.
Well, she had arranged with the defendant that she had told her, I haven't had the car smogged, and I need to get it smogged. And this is the reason why, was because she had had some work done on the car, and when the car, they took it to be smogged, they said it wasn't ready, because when you unplug the battery, you have to wait with this particular car.
Listen, you're not paying attention to me, and I'm not hearing you. Now, you are A, not a mechanic. B, you can't tell me what she arranged with your daughter. That's hearsay. C, I'm here to resolve this matter. You're getting back a better car than you sold to her a couple of months ago. I assume you didn't take any cross-country trips because you couldn't drive the car. Is that correct?
I could not drive it because I couldn't register it.
Do you have the title to the car?
No, I never got the title to the car.
We gave her the title to the car, Judge.
Is it registered in your name?
No, it is not.
Because she did not go register it.
In whose name? Shh! Hey, listen to me. If you speak out again, I'm going to just dismiss your case. Do you understand that?
Yes,
This
I
is not
understand.
a party that we're at. In whose name is the car registered?
I believe it's Lauren's.
You never took it to DMV?
No, I didn't.
To change the title?
No, I went to DMV, but they told me that I couldn't register it because it didn't pass smog. It needed a smog certificate. So when I went to the smog place, it can't pass smog.
Daughter. And you.
I'm not sure.
And her.
And her, I think so. I think.
But you're not on the title?
No.
Very good.
Your Honor,
What?
may my witness testify to something?
You're getting the car back. That's it. You're getting the car back. And she gets the money that she put in. She paid you how much? $1,000?
Yes.
Right. That's what she gets back. Then she'll go buy another car, and you'll find somebody else to sell this to, understanding that it did not pass smog twice. And if there are any specific directions that you need to tell somebody that you have to dance around it, click your heels 3 times, and say, I want to go to Oz, before you try to re-smog it, you'll give them those instructions. Right now, she's giving you back the car. She gets a $1,000 deposit back. You're getting a car with 2 new tires and new brakes. Goodbye. Be happy. Have a happy life. We're done. Thank you.
Case is concluded. Parties are excused.
My daughter trusted somebody who said that they would make the payments.
I wanted the car when I wanted the car, and they should have had it smogged.
They had worked out the deal with what was going to go on with the smogging.
And I knew that, and I took the car anyways.
The lady canceled numerous times. My daughter was trying to work with her.
Don't have a friend test drive it for you, for starters.
And the lady wanted the car then.
And make sure that it's smogged.
And my daughter trusted her, and she took advantage of her.
All parties in the matter of Pesanowski versus...
Pesanowski is suing her former friend, Megan Morgan, for vet bills regarding the euthanizing of a dog.
Miss Pegnowski, there is no way that this is a happy case. You had 3 small chihuahuas.
Yes.
You were moving from one apartment to another, and I must assume from the complaint that you filed, you could only take 2 of them with you.
Correct.
The oldest of those dogs was quite senior. How old?
She was 15.
And how old were the others?
They were 5 and 10.
So this is what happened. You had to make a difficult decision, either moving, and was it part of your lease that you could only have 2 dogs?
Yes.
And you made the decision that you would part with the older one, and you called a friend of yours, that's the defendant, and you asked her if she could take the 15-year-old.
Yes.
You do understand that that's sort of a big responsibility to ask someone else to do, to take an old dog, which is going to require care. The dog is quite senior. That's a sort of a big responsibility to ask someone else to do.
Yes.
But you did it anyway, and the defendant, who has dogs, how many dogs do you have?
I currently have 5 chihuahuas.
She said she would take, is it a boy or a girl that she took?
It was a girl, and she happily...
Let me explain something to you. You asked her to do you a favor. So it's not that somebody's happy to take a 15-year-old dog. Someone says, I will do it because the alternatives sound awful. So you brought your older little girl to her house, and you gave her the dog.
Yes, she happily took the dog, and...
No, don't tell me happily. You gave her the dog. That's
Yes, ma'am.
either yes or a no.
Yes, ma'am.
You gave her the dog. So now it's her dog.
Yes, ma'am.
The defendant arrived at my house later that evening on the 28th of February. She stated that she couldn't keep the dog. I graciously accepted taking on the responsibility.
Miss Morgan.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Morgan, she had called you first. She didn't just
No, ma'am.
show up.
It wasn't a call. It was she reached out to me via text message on Messenger through Facebook.
Okay. Do you have those messages with you?
I do have the messages with me.
Would you read them to me, please?
Yes, ma'am. Hey girl, long time no talk to. I hope you're well and life's treating you great. I'm reaching out to you because I'm having to make the hardest decision of my life. I have to move to a place that I've lived for the past 2 years by March 1st. I found a place at last minute that will take me with my horrible credit, but absolutely not 3 dogs. I thought long and hard in a retirement home setting for senior dogs, but no one is working with me with Tater. She's mostly deaf and has some cataracts, but otherwise is very healthy. Well, shoot me a call. My number is, this is my response. So you're looking for a home for just Tater? Yeah, I'll take her. I mean, I already have 5, but what's 1 more? Oh my God, you're amazing. Call me. I'm in Ramona at the moment. I'll call you when I'm back in Lakeside. Okay, thank you, Megan. I can finally stop crying. That was on February 26th at 9:54 in the morning.
When did you drop the dog off? On the 26th, at what time?
At around noon, she came to my home.
Okay, and then tell me what happened to the dog.
She left the dog in my possession. Everything went great. She was playing around with my kids. She was in the house. She was treated like one of my own.
How many children do you have?
I have 2, a 6-year-old and a 7-year-old. I went to bed that night. Tater was fine. She was actually sleeping in my bedroom on my floor. My dogs free roam in my house, so it wasn't an issue. She did suffer from incontinence, so it was kind of an issue with my husband, and I told him that I would address it at a later date, that I would get her a crate or something to have her own provisions for that dog. The next morning, I got up at 5 a.m. I let all my dogs out in my secured backyard, and by 7 a.m. when I got up to get my kids ready for school, I received there was a dog whining in my backyard, and she looked hurt. When I went outside to look for said dog, she was sitting by my back gate, and she had a laceration to her right shoulder. The moment that I had found the dog in that state, I contacted Kendra and said that Tater had been hurt, that she's at my house and that I needed her to come down and get her because I had to get, at this time, this is before COVID, my 2 small children had to be at school by 8 o'clock. I set Tater up in my driveway in an X-Pen, what we use in rescues. I had her bed out there with her and everything. Kendra arrived and picked up Tater and then proceeded to take her to Animal Medical Center in El Cajon due to the laceration on her right shoulder.
So let me understand this, Miss Morgan.
Yes, ma'am.
You called the plaintiff.
Yes, ma'am.
And told her to come and get the dog.
Yes, ma'am.
And take the dog to the vet.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, right now, Miss Morgan, you do understand that the law says that you are the dog's owner.
Okay. I do not know the laws by
time,
heart, so I do not know that.
Well, I'll tell you. When she asked you to take the dog, and you agreed to take the dog, and she brought the dog to you and relinquished control of the dog to you, she relinquished any interest that she had in the dog.
Yes, ma'am.
To you. So when you called her and to the vet, you were asking her to come and take your dog to the vet. That's the law. I know it may sound ridiculous to you because you had had the dog less than 24 hours, but it's still your dog, and you were asking the former dog's owner to take the dog to the vet.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so she, therefore, under those circumstances, as silly as it may sound to a layperson, she was acting as your agent in taking the dog to the vet. So what she's asking for is for you to pay for the dog's vet bill.
Yes, ma'am, and I understand that. She did not request me to pay for the vet bill. I would have gladly paid for the vet bill. I have a stack of bills sitting in front of me that shows that I am a responsible pet owner, that I have paid for.
No. So, Miss Morgan, what did she ask you for?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I did try to call her so many times, and she blocked me.
No, not blocked you. That was later. I'm talking about, do you have any evidence that on the 27th, when you were at the vet, you tried to contact Miss Morgan? The answer is either yes or no.
Kendra Pesanowski claims former friend Megan Morgan owes for vet bills after she euthanized a dog due to Megan's neglect.
She didn't ask me. So after she retrieved Tater, she took her to AMC Vet, and she took it upon herself to have the dog euthanized. She didn't seek treatment for the dog. I was then threatened. I had to block her on Facebook.
Hold on.
Yes, ma'am.
You had the dog euthanized because?
They wanted to do surgery, and it was going to be $3,000. And I did not have the money, and they also said with the age that she was at, she might not survive.
Did you tell?
I could not get a hold of
contact
Miss Megan.
Well, I would like you to show me on your phone on the 27th of February, sometime early in the morning, that you tried to contact her so that the owner of the dog, because she's the owner, could make a decision as to whether or not the dog should have surgery or should be euthanized. Because if you made that decision by yourself, madam, then you'll pay your own vet bill. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Preliminarily, you gave the dog to the defendant. She asked you, acting as her agent, to pick up the dog to take it to be treated at the vet. You just told me that you made a decision when you took the dog to the vet because of the dog's age and the fact that you didn't have money for surgery to have the dog euthanized. The dog's owner, because, you know, that doesn't have to be done in a moment. That could be done in an hour or two in the time that you possibly could reach her. Do you have any evidence that on the 27th in the morning, when you were at the vet, you tried to contact Miss Morgan? The answer is either yes or no.
I would have to pull it up, so I do not have...
I have time. If you say you tried to call, don't waste my time. So if you have proof that you tried to call her from the vet, and there's a time frame when you would be at the vet on that morning so that the owner of the dog could make a decision as to whether she wanted to spend the money for surgery or not, I'll read that. If you made the decision, then you pay for the vet bill yourself. And if the vet bill was $700, then that's your responsibility.
I did try to call her so many times, and she blocked me and would not answer my phone calls.
No, not blocked you. That was later. I'm talking about calling her from the vet in the morning of the 27th. Did you call her from the vet the morning of the 27th?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
After the text message was sent that she said I killed her dog, I received a phone call from animal control stating that I was neglectful and she was making up these stories so that they would come and investigate me.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Kendra Pesanowski claims former friend Megan Morgan owes for vet bills after she euthanized a dog due to Megan's neglect.
Now, did you call her from the vet the morning of the 27th?
I did. I need to look and find the proof. I need
Go.
to
Go.
May I state something
Go.
while she looks
Look
for
on
the
your
proof?
phone.
May I state something
Sure.
while she looks on the proof? Okay,
Yes.
so after she retrieved the dog, I had gotten the text message later on that evening that she had indeed put the dog down.
Was that the first time you heard
Yes,
from
ma'am.
her?
That was the first time that I heard from her. The text
Could you
message.
bring that up?
I would love to. I have a new cell phone. I don't have any of my text messages from my prior phone. My number's been changed and everything.
You brought up the other text message from
That was
prior.
via Messenger off Facebook. So logging into
I
my
see.
Facebook is one thing, getting my actual text messages from my prior cell phone is another. So after the text message was sent that she said I killed her dog because she had to have her euthanized, I received a phone call from animal control stating that there was allegations that I was neglectful and that I had more animals than I was allotted to have on my property, and she was making up these stories. Upon talking
Okay.
to them is
All right.
when animal control had informed me where the dog was euthanized.
Don't tell me. Don't
Yes, ma'am.
tell me what anybody told you. She had the dog euthanized. She said she did.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I said, first off, the vet has never even heard of any animal ever leaving a dog with these significant injuries in a cage in the cold outside by their driveway, complete neglect. Second, for you to have said you couldn't take her to the vet because yours was closed.
Listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
Listen to me. I asked you for a simple thing, not that you're blaming her sometime later. I asked you to find a phone call that you tried to make to her from the vet. Look, it's very unfortunate what happened to your dog. You called the defendant because you couldn't take the dog with you, all three. You made a choice of which one. You chose the oldest one. She took the dog. You brought the dog there. There is absolutely no evidence, and you don't have any evidence, and I certainly don't believe that the defendant did anything to harm your dog. She took your dog in along with her other dogs. By the way, did you tell her that your dog was incontinent?
No, she was
When you
not
called
incontinent,
her,
ma'am.
when you called her, okay,
I would not rehome a dog that was incontinent.
yeah.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Okay. Now, do you have any proof that you called her from the vet so that she could make a decision as to whether, because she's now the dog's owner, that she could make the decision about whether to euthanize the dog or to have surgery?
If I had been smart and pulled up the phone records, I would have
Okay,
evidence.
but you don't.
I don't.
So it's very unfortunate that this dog ended its long life that way. It's always said we can't always pick the way we or our pets go. So your vet bill was $700. Is that what it was?
It was $342.
Yeah, you take care of it yourself. You made the decision on how to treat the dog. You take care of it yourself. Your case is dismissed. We're finished. Thank you.
Case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy, their conflict is at a crossroads.
He's 100% at fault when he hit my car.
Well, they only sent her 50%. She wants the whole thing. What do you think?
Judge Judy.
I don't know why she would put the dog, a Chihuahua, in a cage in the driveway.
Any dog rescue uses what they call X pins.
When I have a cage bleeding,
The dog was not in a confined space. She had a bed, she had a blanket.
I feel like it's my fault that the dog is dead.
A sad story that the dog had to perish. If she would have actually called me from the vet, we could have come to agreement and had Tater still here with us today.
Caught up in her friend's marriage issues.
Raul's saying Carrie's on drugs and Carrie's saying Raul's on drugs. They're going back and forth with each other. And I go, here, I have a drug test.
Did her suggestion hit a nerve?
She totally caught me off guard, started wailing on me, just started punching me.
She had pushed me down. She had grabbed my hair.
How did her nose get broken, Miss Reyes? You did, in fact, punch her.
This is Judge Judy. Kimberly Richter is suing her former friend, Carrie Reyes, for breaking her nose during an argument at Kimberly's home.
Judge, this is case number 7 on the calendar in the matter of Richter versus Reyes. Parties have been sworn in.
Miss Richter, I understand that you and your husband and the defendant and her husband had been friends.
Correct.
And prior to November of 2019, how long had you known each other?
I've known...
November 25th, you and your husband, the defendant and her husband, were spending an evening together at whose home?
my house.
Who else was present?
It was Carrie, myself, my 2 daughters, my husband, Mark, and later that evening, Raul, her boyfriend, husband, showed up.
Had you had dinner?
No, we were just hanging out by the pool. We were having a few glasses of wine, having a good night.
Had all of you been drinking?
Yes, the adults.
Except, of course, the children.
Of course.
I see you. Put your hand down. It is your claim that on that evening, an altercation ensued with you and Miss Reyes. And as a result of that, your nose was broken.
Yes.
You want her to be responsible for not only the medical bills, but for the pain and suffering that you had as a result of her assaulting you. Miss Reyes, in her answer, while she acknowledges, I believe, Miss Reyes, that you did, in fact, punch her, you indicated that it was a result of her aggression and you were acting in self-defense.
Correct, Your
Honor.
Honor.
Have that right?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Miss Reyes, you put your hand up before when Miss Richter was telling me that the group of you had been drinking. I'm not talking about getting sloppy drunk. I'm talking about that you had been having wine and hanging out at the pool for several hours before your husband arrived. That be accurate?
No, Your Honor.
How long had you been there?
An hour, hour and a half.
At what time did you arrive?
Late afternoon, I would say, around 4 or 5 p.m. And my husband arrived around, I would say, 6:37.
Okay. And prior to your husband arriving, there were no incidents. Is that right?
No, Your Honor. Everything was
Good.
fine.
Miss Richter, approximately what time in the evening did this assault take place?
7:30, 7:45. It was just before the sunset.
All right. Now, in your own words, I'd like you to tell me what happened.
Carrie and I, we were having a few drinks, and we were discussing throughout the day how she believes her husband, boyfriend is cheating on her, and she thinks he's doing drugs. And I'm like, well, Carrie, you know, where's your proof? She didn't have any proof, but she was always coming to my house. I think Raul's cheating on me. I think he's doing drugs. I found this in the bathroom. There's needles missing. There was a needle there the other day. She would come over with these weird accusations.
What do you mean that there were needles? Stop.
Sure.
What do you mean when you said there were needles missing?
She told me that he was using steroids or something to boost his, whatever you use steroids for.
Muscles or whatever.
So I think that was why.
Your manliness, I guess. I don't know.
It's been a while.
Okay. So you were having discussions with her about personal matters before he arrived.
Prior to him arriving, yes.
And he arrived, according to you, about 7:45. So he was there for a little bit before it happened.
Correct.
All right. Keep going.
So we moved to the garage because Raul showed up and my husband was in the garage. Well, Raul showed up and my husband offered him a beer, so him and Raul were in the garage having a few beers while me and Carrie were out back. Well, we kind of wandered around to the garage area, and for whatever reason, my husband got up. I guess he was going in the house to watch TV or something. Well, it was me, Carrie, and Raul that were left in the garage. Raul had a beer. Carrie and I, you know, we were out there having a cigarette, talking with Raul, and the discussion of Raul being on drugs came up. So we started talking about it. I'm like, well, you know, I have a solution for this problem.
Who broached that subject?
I think it might have been me. It was so long ago that Carrie and I were talking about this.
It wasn't even a year ago. It was 10 months ago. How many times have you had your nose broken?
Once in my life.
Okay, so I would remember that, even though it was 10 months ago.
Well,
remember what happened.
The exact context of why that got brought up, I don't clearly remember that, but I can tell you what followed.
Okay, tell me what followed.
We had the discussion about Raul doing drugs, and Raul clearly stated, I'm not on drugs. And then I said, you know what, guys? I got up, I walked in my house, I came back out, I had a drug test. I have a 14-panel drug test that I purchased because my husband has employees, and we're gonna give you a drug test if we think anything is going on in the job. So I had this 14-panel drug test, and I go, here, I have a drug test. And Raul's saying Carrie's on drugs, and Carrie's saying Raul's on drugs. They're going back and forth with each other. And I'm like, well, here's a solution. Carrie, here's a drug test. And I kind of, after this point, you know, after looking at Raul and looking at Carrie and all the things that she's done and said coming to my house prior to these events with her paranoia and all that, kind of had the inclination that she might be doing something. So I suggested she take the drug test. She did not tell me yes. She did not tell me no. I was asking Carrie to take the drug test because I was kind of under the assumption that Raul wasn't really on drugs. And he was offering to take it. I'll take the drug test. I'll take it. And I'm like, no, Raul, I want Carrie to.
So he said, I'll take the drug test.
Yes.
Great. Got it.
So I said, no, Raul, I would like Carrie to take the drug test. I never got a yes out of Carrie. I never got a no out of Carrie. And so this went on for a few minutes, and I kind of got tired of it because it wasn't going anywhere. And I didn't want Raul to take the test because it would have been a waste. I didn't think he was on drugs. So I walked in my home, and Carrie comes in following me. And all I remember, she got me from behind. She totally caught me off guard and started wailing on me, just started punching me, didn't say anything. I'm screaming at her to get out of my house at this point because there's absolutely no reason for you to follow me into my home and start hitting me. And on my coffee table in the front living room, and broke it over my head. And I'm still screaming at her to get out of my house. My kids are like at the staircase. They see the whole thing, or my oldest did. I'm bleeding. And I'm telling my youngest, because she's coming down the stairs, go get me a tissue. Go get me a napkin, something so I can stop, you know, this.
You were bleeding from your nose or from your head?
I was bleeding from my nose.
Okay. And at that point, had you been hit in your nose?
Yes.
Did she finally leave?
My oldest daughter came up and grabbed her hand and told her, Carrie, you need to leave. Because I kept screaming at her that she needs to leave. Get out of my house.
Did she?
When my daughter grabbed her hand and told her to leave, yes, she did, finally.
Did you call the police that night?
I did call the police later that evening.
Did you go to the hospital that night?
I did not go to the hospital that night because I was concerned about me not having health insurance.
Don't tell me why. When did you go to either the doctor or the hospital?
The following morning.
Okay. So now I'd like to see the police report.
Sure. Not hard to read. It's a carbon copy.
Okay, let's take a look. Okay. And do you have the medical report indicating that you went to the... Was it an emergency room that you went to?
Yes, I went to the ER.
Okay. May I see that report, please?
Sure. It's 8 pages. Here's the first page.
Osis.
Sure. Right here?
Okay. Got it. Thank you very much. Okay. Ms. Reyes.
Yes, Your
Your
Honor.
version. We're about 7:45 at night on November 25th. Your husband had arrived at about 6, according to you. You had had a lovely afternoon chatting with your friend. Husband arrives. He's in the garage with the plaintiff's husband. You gals sort of find your way to the garage. Pick it up from there.
From that point, her husband had gone inside, laid down on the couch. The three of us were out in the garage, and the conversation came up, like she said, about drugs. It then evolved into, well, why are you guys fighting? It seems so ridiculous. Why don't you guys just have sex, is what she said. And I said, because I don't want to have sex with him. And she, in turn, turned around and said, well, if you're not going to, I'll have sex with him. So I got upset. She saw that I was upset and she started laughing. She said, I'm just kidding. Kim has a history of alcoholism. She's...
Don't tell me history. Don't tell me history. Just tell me what happened.
Okay.
So that's what she said to you.
Correct.
And she laughed. You
Correct,
didn't think
Your
it was fun. Come on.
So I went inside the house. Raul and her were still out in the... Explained to him what had happened.
No. Just tell me what you said to him.
I told him, I said, Kim...
You said, did you tell him what you just told me?
Correct, Your Honor.
And then?
And then from that point, he stood up and he said, I'm going to go see what's going on. I said, let it be, let them come in.
No.
So they came inside and Mark turned to Raul and said, Raul, is that true what Carrie just told me? Raul said, yes. Yes, Mark, that's true. That's when Kim got upset. She said, get out of my house. I ride horses. I was wearing only my socks. My horse boots, my cowboy boots were outside in her backyard. So I said, okay, I'll leave. So I went to proceed to go outside, and she pushed me. And when she pushed me, I slipped on the tile that she has in her house. And when I went to stand up, she pulled me by my hair.
You were inside or outside when I pushed you? Sorry.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
When she pushed you down, did you end up on your face or on your back?
On my knees. She was in front of me and she pushed me forward.
And then you fell on your knees? That doesn't make sense to me, Miss Reyes.
Says former friend Carrie Reyes attacked her and broke her nose after she asked Carrie to take a drug test.
All right, keep going.
I have pictures, which I also sent to the detective that was assigned to the case or the report that she had made.
Okay, the police came to your house.
The police never came to my house.
Or did you go to...
No.
Well, you spoke to a detective. Was that on the phone?
Yes, so I received a letter in the mail saying that there was a report of an alleged incident that occurred on November 25th for me to contact.
Okay, and when did you receive that letter?
I would say about 2 weeks after the incident.
Between November 25th, when this incident happened, and the time you received the letter, had you seen a doctor?
No, I had not.
Had you seen a doctor?
No,
Had
Your
you
Honor.
been to an emergency room?
No, Your Honor.
And had you made a police report?
No, Your Honor.
So now she pushed you, and you
pushed-
fell.
Correct. And then she grabbed me by my hair. I have photocopies of my hair being ripped out.
And when did you take that photograph?
The same day. And that was sent to the detective. And I also brought copies if you'd like to see them as well.
Oh, I absolutely would.
It is, Your Honor.
Now, she pushed you down. When she pushed you down, did you end up on your face or on your back?
I was on my knees, so when I fell, I was able to I fell to my knees. And
She pushed you when you fell to your knees, and she
Correct,
was
Your Honor.
behind you.
She was in front of me, and she pushed me forward.
I thought you were leaving.
I was leaving.
I thought you were on your way out, and she pushed you.
Correct.
And you mean she ran around you and pushed you the other way?
No, I was headed towards her back.
And then you fell on your knees? That doesn't make sense to me, Miss Reyes.
I was inside the home, walking to her back door. And as I was walking by, she pushed me. She was in front of me and pushed me down. So I fell to my knees.
And she was in front of you. Well,
Correct.
she's in front of you and pushed you down. You fall backwards, not to your knees.
Well, I was not all the way down. I wasn't flat. I would say, like, on my butt or on
How did her nose get broken? How did her nose get broken, Miss Reyes?
So when she had pushed me down, she had grabbed my hair. And in the process of when she grabbed my hair, I could not get her off of me. And so I started flailing my arms to have her let go. And I was defending myself. She's done this to me in the past, has hit me previously in front of her.
Did you? I'm curious. Now, you've all had several glasses of wine. Your husband has had a beer or two. Her husband, he was having a beer or two.
Correct.
He went inside to lie down. What prompted you, other than being a little bit happy, to go inside and tell him that his wife's suggestion to healing your domestic situation was to have sex?
Your Honor.
You said, no, I don't want to. So she said, if you don't want to, I will. And then you went inside to tell her husband what she had said,
Correct,
leaving
Your
her outside with your husband. I'm just curious as to what prompted you to do that. What did you think he should do?
I wanted him to know the type of person that she is.
Okay, it's ridiculous.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You were complaining about him
Correct.
using drugs. Otherwise, you mean just out of nowhere? She says, how about taking a drug test? I mean, I've had gatherings at my house. We don't do that with regularity.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Kimberly Richter has accused former friend Carrie Reyes of attacking her and breaking her nose during an argument.
Now, room.
So the total of the medical bills is $3,778.
Okay, Tabitha, would you stand up, please? Move closer to your mom. How old are you, Tabitha?
I am 14.
Were you there when the incident began?
When Carrie pushed my mom and then it all started, yes.
Tell me what you saw.
Right before I saw it, I heard arguing, and as soon as I came downstairs, I stood by the gate, and then I see Carrie and my mom. My mom's walking backwards, and Carrie's walking forwards. And then Carrie pushed my mom, and my mom almost fell, and then they started fighting. And my mom said to get out, and They were both flinging arms at each other, telling them to get out, because I believe they were pulling each other's hair. Carrie was pulling my mom's hair, actually, because I remember my mom's hair being a mess after. And then Carrie pushed my mom. My mom slipped, and then as Carrie is on top of my mom, she grabs the glass case around the candle and hits my mom against the head. That's when I pull Carrie and tell her to get out.
So what you are describing to me is a fight between your mom and Carrie.
Yeah.
And then you saw Carrie pick up an object and hit your mother with it.
Yes.
Did you see where she hit your mother?
Right. I'm really trying to remember all of it by detail, but I do remember her grabbing it with her left hand and hitting my mom against the head. And then as soon as all the pieces fell on the floor, it shattered everywhere.
Tabitha, you've been helpful to me. When you say you couldn't hear what they were saying, do you remember how long they had been in the house before the fighting started?
Barely a few minutes, like less than 10 minutes.
And did you see where your father was?
Stepfather, and no.
But your stepfather you didn't see in the room?
Not till the very end after I pulled Carrie and told her to go away.
And then you saw him. Where was he?
I think he came out of the garage because it was that
Tabitha,
way.
you can sit down. You can sit down. Thank you very much. Is this your husband?
Yes, Your Honor.
Would you step up, please? What's your last name?
Labiega.
Mr. Labiega, are you and the defendant married or just a couple?
We're married.
When were you married?
We married on April.
Of what year?
This year.
I'm not asking. I'm not talking to you. Do you understand, Miss Reyes?
Sorry, Your
I'm not
Honor.
talking to you. Say nothing.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning of an assault? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay, Mr. Labiega, do you remember November 25th of last year?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember agreeing to take a drug test?
Yes.
So when Miss Richter said to you, will you take a drug test?
I said no problem.
You said no problem.
Yes.
At the same time, did she ask your wife to take a drug test?
Yes.
And did your wife agree to take a drug test?
I don't think she said anything.
But Miss Richter asked her to take a drug test.
Yes, she did.
Okay, very good. Now you can sit down. Okay. Everybody got that figured out? That was an interesting story that you told me, Miss Reyes. Clearly your husband wasn't paying attention to all the testimony. Okay.
Your Honor, not only did that situation happen regarding the drug conversation, we had been out in the garage, Your Honor, for at least 30, 45 minutes.
How come you didn't tell me? Yes, that happened.
Your Honor, the reason I did not mention the whole drug conversation that occurred in the garage was because I felt it was irrelevant. The whole purpose and the whole reason...
It wasn't irrelevant. It's her whole case, madam. Listen to me carefully. She says that you were there all afternoon.
Correct.
Before your husband got there, and you were complaining about him out of nowhere. She says, how about taking a drug test? I mean, I've had gatherings at my house. We don't do that with regularity.
The main
Good.
issue
That's
was
it.
infidelity.
That's all I have to hear. 3778, the rest for pain and suffering. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. We're finished. Thank you very much. Step out.
Parties are excused.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I want to see your marketing campaign.
So you want to see the logo?
That would be a start.
I did not bring a copy of the logo.
Ridiculous.
Next Judge Judy.
I think she was very fair in her ruling.
I was not charged or convicted or ever arrested for anything.
She has a problem putting her hands on me.
She is a major, major alcoholic and put her hands on me first.
And this is the last straw. She broke my nose. I do not choose to be friends with her any longer.
It's time to move forward, and I never want to speak to this woman again or see her.
This lawsuit is about the deal that you had with them.
For the termination of our lease.
The proof from tenants isn't black and white.
If it doesn't say it in that letter, then it's not in that letter.
It doesn't say that in the letter.
No gray area.
It has to be in written form, just like this letter.
Well, you got me there, Judge.
You snookered him.
This is Judge Judy. Jonathan and Sarah Santibanez are suing their former landlord, Dave Schaefer, for the return of rent and their security deposit.
Judges, case number 125 on the calendar in the matter of Santibanez versus Schaefer. Parties have been sworn in. Sir, have a seat, please.
Mr. and Mrs. Santibanez, you rented a house with your family of 8 people from the defendant since 2014, so a little over 6 years. And according to your statement, in the end of July of this year, Mr. Schaefer advised you that he wanted you out of the house by October the 1st, and at all times you have been current in your rent. I think that all the parties will agree with that. Yes. Correct, Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
What was the address of the house that you rented from Mr. Schaefer?
The address was 1750 in Oceanside.
Mr. Schaefer, when did you purchase 1750?
Probably about 2 years before that.
Before they rented it, so in approximately 2012.
Yeah.
How much did you pay for it?
I think it was $470,000.
Did you
lived there on and off for the full 2 years?
So you bought it as a fixer-upper, and you lived there while you made it ready to use as a rental property.
Yeah, well,
Is
we
that
wanted
what
to
you're
sell
telling
it. We wanted to sell it, but that didn't work out.
Well, after you fixed it up,
yeah,
you tried to sell it, and that was in 2012. Is that what you're telling me?
Okay, yeah.
Couldn't sell it, so you decided to rent it.
Yes.
And they paid rent. Their rent was $3,200 a month.
I think at the beginning was a little less.
But now, the last year or two or more, it was $3,200 a month. What was it initially?
Initially, it was, wasn't it $3,000?
Initially, it was $2,850.
$2,850.
And then it progressively went up.
Okay. But your rent when you left was $3,250.
Correct.
And you did, in fact, leave by October 1st.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct.
Do you still, Mr. Schaefer, own 1750?
Yes.
Is it currently on the market for sale?
Yes.
That is not an answer, Mr. Schaefer. Is it an escrow?
It's for sale.
Do you currently have it on the market for sale?
Yes, it is currently on the market
is yes.
for sale.
That is not true.
Oh,
there's no MLS.
Would you?
Okay.
I'm going to...
Thank you.
What is it on the market for sale? At what price?
We
Mr.
didn't
Schaefer?
have a price. We never settled on a price. We have to do a little work on it first, and then it'll probably be around $1 million.
Who is living in the house now?
Nobody's living in it now.
Okay. They moved out on October 1st. What work have you done in the house?
Well, since then, we tried to get the little stream running on the front. We've added a couple of closets in bedrooms so that they would actually be called bedrooms, because you have to have a closet in them to be calling a bedroom. Some patching work on one main wall in the main house, and we turned one of the little garage rooms below into another bedroom, and we had to make that...
So you've renovated the house in order to double what you paid for it.
That would double what we paid for it. Not what we had in it, but double what we paid for it, yes.
Double what you paid for it.
Yes.
And during the past 6 years or so, you've had a tenant who's faithfully paid you on average of $3,000 a month for the house. Now, this is what the situation is. You made a deal with the plaintiffs, Mr. Schaefer, and your deal with them was that if they left the house in good condition, not only would they get their security back, but if they cooperated with the realtor, who is your witness, you would return their September's rent, which was $3,250. When they moved out, it's rent back, but you deducted money from their security deposit. So this lawsuit is about the deal that you had with them, that you would pay them sort of a bonus to get out by October 1st.
Exactly.
And this is during a COVID moratorium on evictions, you understand.
Yes.
In the state of California. So you would give them a bonus if they moved out on October 1st and return their security. Your answer suggests that, well, they did a little bit of damage, so you deducted $800 for their security, and they didn't fully cooperate with the realtor.
They didn't cooperate at all, and that's what he's here to go along with.
Great. So they didn't cooperate at all.
Not at all.
So those are basically the facts. Do I get that right, sir?
Yes, in a sense.
Well, what sense is wrong?
I do have the notice to terminate the lease, where it does say nothing about cooperating with a realtor, if you'd like to see it.
I would. The letter that he sent you
That he
or
sent
that
me.
you agreed to?
For the termination of our lease and to be out by October 1st.
Okay. I'm giving you a 6-day written non-renewal notice letting you know that I will not be renewing your month-to-month lease. I am giving you a required 60 days notice via the 60 days to October 1st, which means that you can stay on property until October 1st, which should make a move easier for you and your family. Lastly, if the property is turned over on October 1st, which he realizes that you didn't have to do, in good and clean condition, I will refund your September's rent in addition to your deposit. Feel free to call me if you have any questions. Do you recognize that document, sir? And is that your signature? I'm checking it with the signature on your answer.
Yeah.
That's the letter that you sent to them.
I don't remember all of that.
Okay, point out any place in that letter where it says that he has to cooperate with your realtor.
If it doesn't say it in that letter, then it's not in that letter.
It doesn't say that in the letter, Mr. Schaefer.
Okay. Then it must have been in the conversation we had immediately after the letter. Immediately.
Let me explain a little bit about contract law to you, sir. You made him an offer in this letter. It's a written offer. He acted on this written offer by moving out on October 1st. So the contract is complete. The only way that you can modify this written contract is by a writing, not a conversation, not a telephone call, not a chat before, not a chat after. It's like this letter.
Well, you got me there, Judge.
And quite frankly, of course, Mr. Schaefer, you know, you actually do understand that not only do you have this letter, but by your own statement, sir, it didn't matter whether he cooperated with your realtor or not, because you haven't put the house up on the market for sale. And the reason you didn't put the house up on the market for sale is because you said you were doing work on it to make it more attractive. You added a bedroom, you made closets so that you could say it's a 6-bedroom house or a 5-bedroom house or a 8-bedroom house instead of what it was in order to comply with code. So you haven't even listed it for sale. So that if you said to me, well, I listed it for sale, and we discussed that given COVID, I would give him notice and I would keep the showing short, you haven't even listed it according to you. So how you actually dare to say that your defense is that he didn't cooperate with a broker when he's been out of the house for 2 months and you haven't even listed it yet? That's what you just told me a moment ago. So how was he supposed to cooperate with your broker?
He was supposed to cooperate.
Other than the fact that you snookered him. Yeah, go ahead.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What is they go and look at your property?
That's right. And he was supposed to allow the...
Then you have an idiot for a broker, and so are you.
Jonathan and Sarah Santibanez are accusing their former landlord, Dave Schaefer, of reneging on an agreement to return their rent and security deposit.
Now, you haven't even listed it according to you. So how you actually dare to say that your defense is that he didn't cooperate with a broker when he's been out of the house for 2 months and you haven't even listed it yet? That's what you just told me a moment ago. So how was he supposed to cooperate with your broker?
He was supposed to cooperate.
Other than the fact that you snookered him. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
He was supposed to cooperate, fully cooperate, and I remember talking...
What was he supposed to... No. Schaefer.
Yeah.
What act was he supposed to do to cooperate with your broker?
He was supposed to allow the broker to look at it whenever the broker wanted to. He was supposed to allow...
What? Just a second. Schaefer, for what?
So the broker would see it.
For what? To look at it because he had nothing else to do but look at your house? It wasn't listed for sale and hasn't been listed for 2 months. November, you haven't listed it. What is this useless broker here? He has nothing else to do with his time than go and look at your property?
That's right. And he was supposed to allow the...
Then you have an idiot for a broker, and so are you. You own $4,050. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Okay.
We're done. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
Well, I always heard she was going to tear me apart. And she did.
I'm very pleased with her decision. We are good tenants. We paid our rent on time every month.
These very nice people did not cooperate with the broker in allowing him to go see it.
We were shocked when he would not refund what he said he would give us, which is his word in writing.
When he called quite often, 4 or 5 times, they didn't even answer his calls.
And especially during COVID-19 when you don't want people in your home.
He was supposed to let the brokers see it.
You don't want to be outside the home. You don't want to be showing the home.
He did not show them any cooperation, not only not full cooperation, not any cooperation.
I think it was a good ruling on Judge Judy's part.
All parties in the matter of Foley versus Mounier. Step to the podium, please.
21-year-old Emily Foley is suing her former friend and roommate, 24-year-old Amber Mounier, for failing to return her portion of a security deposit for an apartment they never moved into.
Miss Foley, you and the defendant decided to rent an apartment together. You located an apartment, and I was unclear, did both of you sign the lease or just the defendant?
Both of us.
And you were supposed to move into this apartment on
September 5th was our move-in date.
Okay. In order to accommodate that, you gave the defendant $1,400 and you transfer that into her bank account. Do you have proof of that?
Yes, I do.
Would you please take it out?
This is the total that I gave her. The $300 and the $1,000 was towards the deposit on the apartment, and the $145 was $100 for a $200 holding fee and $45 for a credit check fee. And the $50 was a personal loan that...
Just a second. Okay. A credit check fee?
Yes, for the...
Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Okay, I got it. At some point, the apartment complex that you were leasing from notified you that the apartment would not be ready on the move-in date that you were given in the lease, and the apartment complex gave you the option of backing out of the lease.
Yes.
You decided that you wanted to back out of the lease.
Yes.
You no longer wanted to go forward with it. And what you are suing for is the return. The defendant seems to acknowledge that she received that money back from the apartment complex. Am I correct?
I didn't receive everything back. I did receive a portion of it.
How much did you receive back that you can prove to me?
The only thing I didn't get back was the holding fee and both credit check fees.
And I would assume that you wouldn't have gotten the credit check fee.
Yeah. They told us we weren't going to get that back.
What was that?
We didn't get
40?
It was $45 per person.
Okay. So they did, in fact, return to you most of the deposit that the plaintiff gave you.
Yes.
You said you would return to her only $400 of the deposit, and your reason was that you purchased things, I assume, for the apartment.
Yes.
In contemplation of moving into the apartment together. She was the one that didn't want to go forward with it if you had to wait 2 weeks, and you got stuck with stuff that you would not have otherwise purchased. Like what?
A kitchen table. And then I did the renter's insurance.
Just a second. Where is the kitchen table and chairs?
I had to end up getting a new one because that one was too big, and I had to move. I was already set to move.
No, look at me. You bought a kitchen table and chairs.
Yes.
Was it delivered?
No, I stopped the delivery.
You stopped the delivery?
Yes, I couldn't get my money back. They said I could...
Give it to me.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You bought another one.
Yes, because that one was too big, and I was forced to keep that and keep buying stuff from them.
Okay, listen. I mean, I may be older than you are, but I know young people think they're smarter. I want you to give me a full sentence answer.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 21-year-old Emily Foley is suing her former friend and roommate, 24-year-old Amber Mounier, for failing to return her portion of a security deposit for an apartment they never moved into.
You bought a kitchen table and chairs.
Yes.
Was it delivered?
No, I stopped the delivery.
You stopped the delivery?
Yes, I couldn't get my money back. They said I could either keep that one or get one that was smaller.
Prove it to me.
It says on the very bottom how you can't get your money back.
I see what this is, and I see what you signed, $450 that you paid. Did you buy another one?
I paid $100 more.
Did you buy? The question is, did you buy another one? The answer is yes.
Yes, because that one was too big, and I was forced to keep that
and keep buying stuff from them because I was going to lose out on all that money.
Okay, listen. I mean, I may be older than you are, but I know your answer. The answer is you took this $450, you added another $100 to it, and you bought another table that you currently own.
Yes.
Isn't that simple? Look how I said that. Without convoluted, without anything. Did you move into another apartment?
Yes, I did.
And you now have a kitchen table and chairs, right?
Yes.
That cost you $550, that you own it.
Yes.
Good. What else did you buy?
The renter's insurance.
Renter's insurance?
Yeah, we have to have renter's insurance in order to move in, before we could even move in.
Fine. You ordered the renter's insurance, but before the renter's insurance went into effect, you canceled it because you never moved in.
No, we did not move in.
You never moved in. So if you never moved in, there shouldn't be any insurance. You were uncovered because you didn't own or rent the property. Are you telling me you had a loss with insurance that you're going to have to prove?
No, I didn't say that.
You didn't say what?
That I had a loss of insurance.
Well, you just told me. I said, well, what did you pay for that you didn't use?
I did pay for it.
You said
it took
renter's
8 weeks
insurance.
to get the money back, Your Honor.
So who cares? I'm trying to figure out what you spent money on. So far, it's nothing. So she's entitled to have $1,400 back.
Several text messages from her mother saying that it was $1,200. She posted on Facebook $1,500, and then it was $1,691.
I just want to know how much. You just showed me what you received from her.
This is what I received. I have my bank statements. Because when it transfers, it doesn't go directly. It, takes money out of it when you transfer it to your account from Cash App.
She showed me what she sent to you. Are you disputing what she sent to you?
Yes.
What specifically are you disputing? The $1,000?
No.
Are you disputing the $300? What are you disputing?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
She showed me what she sent to you. Are you disputing what she sent to you?
Yes.
What specifically are you disputing? The $1,000?
No.
Are you disputing the $300? What are you disputing?
So, Your Honor, when it gets sent through Cash App, when it gets transferred to your bank account, it takes a portion of it out. So I didn't get that full amount.
What
Your
portion?
Honor?
What portion? Shh, just what portion?
It ended up being...
Just what portion? If it was $1,000, how much did you receive?
$990.
$990?
Yes.
Okay, that $100 did you receive?
It was $990, and then I received $297.
Did she return $400 to you?
She returned nothing to me, Your Honor. And if I may, Cash App takes a percentage out when you choose to instantly have it. It takes 2 to 3 business days, but it's a choice to, that percentage that they take out. You can choose to have them not, and you can get the full amount that I sent her. That was her choice to have it instantly. It was not.
$1,350, judgment for the plaintiff. We're finished. Thank you very much. We're done.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy.
It was just so awful. I just couldn't take it anymore because he was cursing at me and yelling at me.
That, sir, is not a demonstration of someone who's in fear.
Judge Judy.
I believe it was the right decision. I put money towards an apartment. We didn't get the apartment. I got my money back.
I don't mind her decision. I don't owe her anything. I don't really care.
Honestly, I was glad that the apartment wasn't ready in time because her true colors came out before that.
This happened for a reason. We weren't meant to live with each other, and that's fine.
A lot of lies came out, and I was, having second thoughts already.
They offered us that we could even get a different apartment, that we could move in that day.
When the opportunity presented itself, I took it. I did what was best for me and my child.
I will always love her son. That's my godson.
She's not actually the godmother to my child. She kind of just took on that role.
I don't deal with